So my childhood rabbi, when he would give his sermon on Friday nights, used to say, close your books. So I invite you to I've always wanted to say that. So take a moment to close your books. By the way, they have a whole book compiled of his sermons, and it's called Close Your Books. So our Torah portion this week is Vayechi, the last portion in the book of Genesis. In this portion, Jacob gives each of his sons a blessing, and instead of the blessing being given to Joseph, he gives it to Joseph's sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. When looking at the topic of blessings, there are many directions in which one could take. For example, we could look at why there are 5 instances in the Torah where the younger sibling is blessed over the older sibling. We could delve more deeply into each specific blessing that Jacob gives to his sons, depending on their actions that have occurred in the Torah. However, I want to focus on 2 ideas regarding blessings. The first is the blessing that we recite at the end of our services this evening, the blessing over children on Shabbat. The second, which comes out of this week's Torah portion, is an explanation of why we recite the second line of the Shema silently. Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe, Yisimech Elohim ke'Sarah ke'Rivka ke'Rachel u'Leah. May God inspire you to live like Ephraim and Manasseh. May God inspire you to live like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. The question is, why Ephraim and Manasseh and not any of the other sons of Jacob? Contemporary Israeli rabbi Mordechai Elon wrote that Ephraim and Manasseh are the first pair of brothers in the Bible who do not see each other as competitors. There is no struggle for power, and there is no source of difficulty as a family mentioned in regards to the 2 brothers. In fact, it is Joseph who has a difficult moment when Jacob goes to bless Ephraim over Manasseh. How many of us have had difficult relationships with our siblings? But when we recite this blessing over our children each Shabbat, we are bestowing upon them the legacy of peace and harmony between brothers. The brothers also received this blessing not through any of the actions that they had done, but because they were descendants of Jacob. The blessing is bestowed upon our children, not for their accomplishments, but because they are children and we love them. Rabbi Richard Levy says, for Jewish girls, however, who might be inclined by society's prejudices to think that because they are girls, they need not set their sights very high. The blessing holds them up to the highest models. May God make you like the greatest women the Torah knows, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. I would like to share a different take on the blessing of the children written by Marcia Falk. Hayi asher tihiyi, v'hayi brucha, ba'asher tihiyi. Heye asher tihiyeh, v'hiyeh baruch, ba'asher tihiyeh. You would put in your child's name and you would say, be who you are, and may you be blessed in all that you are. And for a boy, we would use a boy's name and we would say, be who you are, and may you be blessed in all that you are. This blessing speaks to me in saying to our children, come where you are at this moment, and we as your parents will bless you, given freely and unconditionally and with lots of love. Now we understand a bit more about the blessing of the children, but why do we recite the second line of the Shema quietly or silently? From the Women's Torah Commentary, imagine the scene at the end of the Torah portion. Jacob, whose name has been changed to Israel, calls his 12 sons to his deathbed and blesses each one of them. But his real concern, according to our rabbis, is that his sons will abandon his God after he has died. In the Midrash, his sons respond to this unstated fear with words that have become familiar to us. Shema Yisrael, listen, Dad, whose name is Israel. Adonai is our God, only Adonai. Hearing this, the dying patriarch sighs quietly, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is the glorious name, whose kingdom is forever and ever. From Midrash Bereshit Rabbah. Each time we say the Shema, we are rehearsing this moment. We are the children acknowledging the God of our own Father, and we are pledging our own loyalty to the tradition of ancestors. The Midrash continues. Ben Lakish explained that Jacob said, "Blessed is his name," in response to his son's exclamation. The sages wondered, shall we recite it aloud when our teacher Moses did not say it at all? Shall we not say it at all when Jacob ordained it? Thus, the rabbis enacted that it be said quietly. When Moses went up to the heavens, he heard the angels praise God by saying, "Blessed is his name," etc. When he returned to earth, he taught it to the Jewish people. We say it in an undertone so as not to offend the angels. On Yom Kippur, however, when we are considered like angels, we are permitted to say Baruch Shem aloud. On Shabbat, when the angels are among us, we say the second line of the Shema so that we don't offend them. This is not unheard of in our Jewish customs. For example, why do we cover the challah on Shabbat before we say the blessings? Since it is the third blessing recited, we don't want to offend it while we are reciting the other blessings. And I did try to find a source that might give me some information about why the Reform movement actually started saying the second line aloud. I could not find a source, but I asked a couple people, and some people thought that maybe they said it aloud because they were just being very moving away from what tradition had done. So, the blessings that we recite, whether each day or Shabbat, have been passed down through the generations. As Rabbi Lawrence Kushner writes in the Book of Words, blessings keep our awareness of life's holy potential ever present. They awaken us to our own lives. Every blessing says, I am grateful to be a creature and to remind myself and God that life is good. When we bless our children, we speak of the potential that they have, and it reminds us of how blessed we are that they are present in our lives, hopefully. May we continue to bless our children on Shabbat and every day, and may we all be blessed to find blessings in all of our achievements and all of the little moments that bring us joy. Shabbat Shalom.